Okay, this is University of St. Thomas Math 005, Lesson 3, Part 4. And we're looking at the in-class problems. I'm giving you a couple of those we're going to work through right now. And then we'll move on to 2.2 and 2.3. All right, so in our very first one, we're asked to solve for 4x minus 1 equals 4x minus 7. Well, the very first thing I'm going to take a look at is whether or not this can be solved, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 1 to both sides, which tells me that 4x is going to equal 4x minus 6. Now, even if we were to say 0, 0 is never going to equal negative 6. Those two numbers are never going to be the same. So what we wind up with is a system that does not have a solution. All right, and when we get further into this, we'll talk about the fact that these are actually parallel lines. But at the moment, all you need to know is that there is no place where they intersect. There is a solution set of an empty set or a null set. And that's our null set, or you could just say our empty set, right? There's no anything in there, either one of those, or say simply no solution. All right, there's no way that we can solve that one. Now, I can go ahead and take a look at our next problem. And this says 6t minus 4 minus 3t is going to equal 3t minus 4. So I'm going to go ahead and collect my like terms on this side. This side, that's already done. We don't need to worry about it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have 6t minus 3t, which is going to give me 3t. And then my negative 4 comes down, and that's going to equal 3t minus 4. And those two things are exactly the same. So we could have any number that we put in for t, and it would be true. So basically, and again, we'll deal with this further when we're further into the course, but this is saying that those those are the exact same line, okay? It's the one line is laid on top of the other, so that all real numbers are solution. You could also say, if you want to put it into set notation, you could put brackets and then the symbol for real numbers inside of that. So it's all real numbers. All right, so now those two are pretty straightforward. I want to do one that's a little more involved, and we'll solve it and go from there. So I have a negative 2. Again, I'm going to distribute these. I've got to distribute to everybody inside these parentheses. So that's the piece we've got to be real careful about. I'm going to have a negative 2x plus 8, right? Negative 2 times a negative 4. And then I'm going to say subtract. My negative is going to go all the way through here. So I'm going to have a negative 3x plus 1. And if it helps you to go ahead, put a 1 in front there, right? Because that negative is saying I'm changing everything to the other sign. If it helps you to think about it as multiplying by a negative 1, do that, right? There's nothing that says you can't do that. And if it helps you get to the correct answer, use it, right? So I have negative 2 on the other side of my equal sign plus 2x minus 1. Now I'm going to start collecting my stuff and moving things around, and we'll get to the point where we know what x is. All right, so I have a negative 2x and a negative 3x. So I'm going to wind up with a negative 5x, right? That one and that one are taken care of. I'm going to have an 8 plus a 1. That's going to give me a positive 9. And now I have a negative 2 and a negative 1. That's going to give me a negative 3. and I have a 2x here. All right. And now I want to go ahead and I'm going to shuffle things around. I'm going to solve for my x. I'm going to go ahead and add 5x to both sides. I want to see if I can get rid of those negatives, make everything be positive. I know that I tend to make more mistakes when I have a negative involved, and I tend to drop it. So here I'm going to have a 9 is going to equal 7x minus 3. I'm going to go ahead and add 3 to both sides. All right, that's going to give me a 12 here equals 7x. And I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 7. So now I've got my 12 over 7 equals my x. And we're done.